Hey, it's Meatball.
And Mark.
And this is the Rocker Morning Show on demand from 107.7 RKR. 107.7 RKR. It is the Rocker Morning Show with Meatball.
And Mark Frankhouse.
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Oh, just dandy.
Yeah. How'd everything go yesterday? Because I remember, I can't remember, what did you say before we left on air on Friday? Go Cowboys.
Yeah. That didn't work out so well.
No. Did they even score a touchdown yesterday?
Nope.
Ow.
All field goals.
Very ow.
I mean, I expect that from the Cowboys anymore. Listen, here's the reality of the whole situation. I don't expect the Cowboys to do well this year. I think I've said that out loud, but I am not a fair weather fan, and I'm always going to root for them and expect them to win.
Yeah.
Because that's what Cowboys fans do. Are we going to in reality? No. When we face a good team, we're going to lose. Now, I just want to point out that that was as far as I could tell, the second worst home loss the Cowboys have ever had.
Yeah.
Period. The worst loss we've ever had the worst home loss the Cowboys have ever had was in 1985 against the Bears.
Ow.
Which, I mean, it's the 85 Bears, so of course. But that was 44-0. That was the biggest loss we've ever had at home. And last night was, 38? It was 47-9.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was not good.
That was big time payback for last year. I knew they were going to go in there and just stomp. Especially after last year getting the bone like that.
What are you talking about?
After the dude reported and the ref had his thumb up his butt.
No, he didn't report.
Yes, he did.
No, it didn't happen.
Meatball is super salty this morning, folks.
Yeah, well, I'm also very, shall we say, groggy, I guess, for lack of a better word, because I watch the game in a household that takes a drink every time the Lions score.
Oh, man.
And I decided it was smart to drink every time the Cowboys scored, too, because I was like, ha, I'm going to be drunker than all y'all. I mean, yes, but I took one more drink and then realized this was getting out of hand really fast, so I just stopped.
Also, really unfortunate news last night. Aiden Hutchinson snapped his tibia.
Yeah.
I don't suggest watching the video.
No.
Because it's not fun.
Absolutely not.
But he's easily done for the year.
They, I have a buddy of mine that works in Dallas, and they said that he went to surgery immediately.
Yeah. So I guess he's doing good. But yeah, I mean, luckily he's young, and he'll probably heal well, and he'll be back.
It's depending on the break. If it's a clean break, especially like if it's, and this is going to get a little graphic, I guess, for those that don't like talking about broken bones, but if it's a clean break in the middle of the bone, that's pretty easy to come back from.
Yeah.
Like you're talking 8 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, you're doing PT, and then, best case scenario for him, the Lions do, get to that penultimate moment for the season, and he at least shows up in a minority aspect. But, obviously you don't want to rush that kind of thing, especially if you're doing well, like, don't rush one of your biggest stars.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that was super unfortunate, him going down, because he's a huge part of their defense. But again, everybody's like sounding the alarms like, well, it's over for us this year.
No, it's not.
He's one guy. He's a great player.
And he's a great player, but I mean, like, he only affects one aspect of that game. And I realize that people can adjust their, offense, be like, oh, well, they don't have Aiden Hutchinson on that side, so, we're going to adjust and move this way. Aaron Glenn's a great defensive coordinator. Like, that team is stacked and loaded. I mean, we were talking last night. It was like, what happened to Amon-Ra St. Brown? And I was like, oh, he's still there, but I mean, he's got 3 people on him.
Right.
Which means Jared Goff can spread the ball anywhere he wants across the field. And you guys have an insane amount, like the receiving core, the running back core. There's so many offense. You guys are hoarding offensive weapons in the NFL. Do you realize that?
Oh, yeah.
The Lions have all of them. It's unfair, man. Share the wealth. I don't even know my starting running back's name this year, okay?
Generic football man.
I probably knew it at one time, but he just doesn't matter that much to me anymore. But listen, congratulations, Lions fans. You got the win. Good for you.
Yes, it was very good for us.
Yeah, I need to take a nap in the corner. One last thing to point out. Tigers, unfortunately, ended their run over the weekend.
Yeah.
And it was weird because they had to move up the time of the game because there was a threat of some storms moving in, which actually turned out to be credible. Those same storms that they tried to get ahead of also delayed the Western game on Saturday.
Right.
Did you see how long that game took to finish?
I heard it was a while.
Kickoff was at 3:30. They finished at about 12:30.
Oh, God.
In the middle of the night. At one point, they were playing in hail.
Jeez.
So those of you that stuck it out to watch the Western win, congratulations. You're our juggernauts of the week, I think.
No doubt.
1077 RKR is the Rock and Morning Show with Meatball.
And Mark Frankhouse.
Before I give up all the answers and the content of this story, Mark, who would you say is the most hated team in the entire NFL?
Oh, probably the Chiefs.
Yeah?
I mean, most likely. Chiefs just because, people just love to hate.
I feel that.
I could also probably make a point for the Cowboys, maybe the Eagles as well.
You're pretty much 1, 2, 3 there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Nailed it.
Chiefs are the most hated team in the NFL. Would you take any guesses as to who the most liked team in the NFL is?
Oh, right now it's got to be.
Or let me rephrase that. The least hated team in the NFL.
I was going to say the Lions have to be.
Okay. Well, study from Bet Online via Football Forever released a graphic showing that the Detroit Lions are the least hated NFL team in the entire league, with the Chiefs at number 1, Cowboys number 2. This was all compiled through social media, especially Twitter, looking for phrases like "I can't stand the Cowboys" or "Eagles suck" or "the Packers are overrated," that kind of stuff. And I don't know you can see the graphic now. We've got it up on the 1077 RKR app and at WRKR.com. I don't know what the data lines are on this graph. There are no numbers on it. So I can't tell you if it's 20 instances or 200 or whatever. I don't know what the measuring stick is for this. But that seems to be the rub is that the Lions are the least hated team in the league right now. How does that make you feel, Mark?
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful because we probably were at one point the most embarrassing team in the league, and that's completely shifted. It's a complete culture change in the city, which is awesome.
Well, and the same guy that's your head coach right now was part of that, winless season with the Lions. And full turnaround for the team. So that's pretty cool. So you can see this list over at WRKR.com. It's really interesting to look over. Worth noting, there are a handful of teams that aren't even on this list because their teams are so bad that people they're just simply not relevant at all. There's no Commanders on there, despite the rest of my NFC East teams being in the top 6. So the Cowboys, Eagles, and Giants are all in the top 6 there. As for the NFC North, all 4 of them are on the list, with the Packers being the most hated out of all 4 of those teams. So there's solace in at least making the list, and that you matter enough for people to hate you, and that's kind of nice, I guess.
You good, dude?
Listen. After the way the Lions kicked our asses last night, not only did the Lions move up a tick in my hated list, but I got to hold on to something, that the Cowboys are still at the top for, and I can't even claim that anymore. The stupid Chiefs took that from me, Nothing against our good friend KC Bob, but, just for the sake of the graph right now, I'm going to just start tweeting. I love the tweets. I hope the whole internet learns to love them again, too. Go Chiefs.
It's time to turn up your dials and tune out the traffic because we're playing the Daily 5 on the Rocker Morning Show. Testing the mental magnitude of your favorite morning monkeys on the radio. And now, your hosts for the Daily 5, Meatball and Mark Frankhouse.
It is the Daily 5 where Mark and I ask each other questions. The other one answers. Today, I'm asking the questions. Mark is answering. Mark, you got some help on the line today from Bob. Good morning, Bob. How are you?
Good morning. How you doing, guys?
We're doing great. Bob, you got to help me get 3 out of 5 questions correct. If you do, we'll take the 1-0 lead to start the week. If not, Meatball will go up 1-0.
Now, for context, when Bob called us, he said he was going to help me out to win this week, but he didn't know that Mark was answering the questions today. So, Bob, just play fair today.
Will do.
All right.
Is that your cue or something?
My trigger word?
Just play fair today.
No, Bob's going to help you out. All right, here we go. Question number 1. This is entertainment. Star Trek, the original series, takes place in what future century? Is it the 23rd century, the 24th century, or the 25th century?
I thought it was the 25th.
25th?
Yeah.
So for context, the 25th century would be the 2400s.
Oh, yeah. I think you're right, Bob. I was actually thinking I thought it was like 2400 or something. So, yeah, I'm with you on this one, Bob. We'll go the
25th century?
25th century.
Final answer?
Yeah, you good with that, Bob?
Yeah, I'm good with it.
All right, let's do it. Final answer.
And I don't remember all the lead-in stuff for Star Trek, which is bad because I'm a giant Star Trek fan, but we went a little too far there. The 23rd century is when the original series takes place.
Okay.
Some of The Next Generation and thereon takes place in the 24th century. So it takes place over a lot of time. All right, question number 2. This is nature. Panther cap, stinkhorn, and penny bun are all types of what? Fungi, beetles, or jellyfish?
You say it again.
Panther cap, stinkhorn, and penny bun are all types of what? Are they fungi, beetles, or jellyfish?
I feel like it's beetles.
I'm with you. I really don't know.
Stinkhorn. Yeah, I feel like it's beetle.
You know, panther cap, stinkhorn, Ringo, Paul.
Yep. The fifth beetle.
Yeah, the fifth beetle, penny bun.
That's funny. Yeah, I don't know. I'm feeling beetle or jellyfish. One of the two.
I think it's the beetle.
All right.
Go with your first instinct.
All right, we'll go with my first instinct. We'll go beetle. Final answer.
Beetle, final answer. Fungi. Different types of fungi.
Interesting.
Yeah, so there were still just 4 beetles. All right. Gotta run the table now. This is food. Lay's potato chips go by a different brand name in the UK. What is it? Is it Walker's, Tyrell's, or McCoy's?
Man, I have no idea. I've never seen UK Lay's potato chips.
That's because they're not Lay's in the UK.
Walker, Tyrell's, or
McCoy's.
McCoy's.
What are you thinking, Bob?
I'm thinking Tyrell's.
Tyrell's.
Yeah, not sure why. It's just
I mean, I have no idea. So it's a shot in the dark here. So, yeah, we'll stick with it. We'll go Tyrell's. Final answer.
Going Tyrell's. Final answer. It was Walker's.
Walker's.
Yeah,
okay.
That's what they call Lay's in the UK.
Well, a quick one today, Bob. Meatball goes up 1-0 to start the week. He needs it because I've got a 7-week winning streak. Magic number is 2, by the way. But Bob, congratulations. You're going to go see Jersey Boys. This is going to be a fun show, man. It's been sold out the past 4 weeks. And you're going to see one of the last 4 shows here. So congratulations, ma'am.
great. Thank you very much. And I really did try.
Hey,
I appreciate you actually trying, Bob.
I appreciate that, Bob. I think you're lying, though. It's okay. I'm just kidding.
1077 RKR is the Rocker Morning Show with Meatball.
And Mark Frankhouse.
So the early days of Big Ten football were weird. No, there was no Michigan game this week. Does Michigan State off this week too?
I'm not sure. I didn't even pay attention to State.
Yeah, nobody really. Yeah, whatever. But like, I mean, it was weird not having them to watch. So I was kind of poking around and stuff. I found out the early days of the Big Ten football were kind of weird. I was on the website earlier and I found out we have a story up there about Michigan's first ever win against a Division I team. Now, of course, football when Michigan started, because they're one of, if not the oldest, collegiate football program out there. It was really hard to find other people to play football against them, but we did find some, and officially Michigan's first ever win against a Division I school was Racine College in Chicago. The final score, and I double checked this, was 1-0. I wonder if that's just been a typo handed down through time, but it might have also just been like before any like semblance of modern football rules existed. So I don't know. But that game was played at the White Sox field, essentially. What do they call it? The White Stockings Park in Chicago. that same year that they won, which was 1887, Racing College just stopped playing football. So that 1-0 loss was apparently the final straw. But yeah, early on in football, opponents were kind of tough to come by for the Big Ten. I found another list of the most obscure teams each Big Ten team has played in their history. Listen to some of these. Michigan's weirdest one was the Peninsular Cricket Club in 1885. Played football against them. Won 42-0. Minnesota played the Minneapolis Boat Club in 1895. What? Nebraska played the Omaha Balloon School in 1918. Indiana played Manual High School in 1898 and barely won 20-0. Illinois played the Chicago Dental School. But maybe the most interesting matchup was in 1907. Michigan State played the Michigan School for the Deaf. And no surprise, won that game 40-0.
What?
Should we be bringing back some of these weird matchups like this? Like, I would love to see a school for the deaf play Michigan State again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I kind of like the idea of, like, you know, maybe Michigan State against, I don't know, the Golden Bachelorette. The guys, the bachelors from the Golden Bachelorette or something. You know, just like take the most ridiculous crap and mix it together. I'm also a huge fan of mascot games. I think we definitely need more of those.
Like the Michigan plays all the mascots from the Big Ten or something. I'm down with that. But see, like the Big Ten should also be taken after Indiana on this list. You know, now that we're in all these conference realignments, they don't have to travel clear across the entire country to play Oregon or Washington or USC. There's plenty of little high schools around here that they could play, you know? Like, I hear Pawpaw's having a good season.
Yeah, what do you think? Any Red Wolves out there in Van Buren County want to play the Wolverines or Spartans this year?
Yeah, why not? 107.7 RKR. It is the Rocker Morning Show with Meatball.
Yeah, Mark Frankhouse.
There's a growing controversy with things that are happening at restaurants across the country. I'm a big fan of the self-serve soda fountain.
Yes.
Those are apparently going away, or at least some semblance of them. And you could be starting to see it with an interesting rule at Blaze Pizza here at Kalamazoo.
Okay.
So TikTok went viral recently of a girl at a Blaze Pizza's undisclosed location, so we don't know which one. They've got like 340 locations across the country, so it could be any one of them. She tried to get her soda, tried to get her pop. Machine wasn't working. She scanned a barcode on the cup at a thing next to the soda fountain, and then she was able to get her pop out of the fountain. She also had an 18-second timer to fill her cup, and if she didn't do it within then, that was it. That was all the soda you get. How do you feel about that?
Is that such a pressing issue that
Apparently.
you have to create new technology to scan a barcode on a cup and then cut you off at 18 minutes? 18 seconds? Like, what the? Why?
Apparently they're trying to save product, save money, people being wasteful or whatnot, people taking advantage of it and drinking way too much soda, I guess, or pop. You know, like, I don't know, man. Restaurants are doing weird stuff with that. There's actually McDonald's is flat out just getting rid of their self-service fountains. Like by 2032, they just want to flat out not have the self-service fountains anymore.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is so messed up. I don't know. That seems a little.
But then it goes so far as to like, well, you have to scan a barcode and then you have 18 seconds to fill this up. Like that's
really weird.
Yeah. It seems like an unnecessary step. Just be like, hey, fill that up once. Like, just watch it, you know?
I think that's lame anyways.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to have a fountain machine out there,
it needs to be all you can drink.
I'm gonna get 2 of these bad boys.
Exactly.
Because it literally costs you pennies.
Yeah. I don't know. I've seen places that do this before. So, like, people can't just come in from the outside, you know, and, like, get soda. Like, that makes sense to me. Disney World does this a lot where, like, they have there's like a chip in the bottom of some of the cups that they sell, and it'll recognize the chip in the bottom of the cup before it'll dispense the soda. But there's no timer on them or anything like that. Like, It's just making sure that, you know, you actually were here with that cup or whatever. But this seems a little over the top. But I mean, honestly, like I kind of don't care if it has a timer or whatever. It just challenges me to make my suicide faster, you know, because I'm still 12 years old. I still combine like 12 pops, you know, at the fountain or whatever. But if they do get rid of self-serve fountains altogether, like I'm gonna have to get real annoying with the person at the drive-thru window. Just be like, all right, here's how you mix this. Do you guys have Surge? No, sir, we don't have Surge. Well, here's how we make this. You do equal parts Coke and Sprite. You add Diet Coke to that. Sir, we only carry Pepsi. All right, this is really, yeah.
Every time you go through the drive-thru, they're going, damn it, Meatball's back.
I'm just going to write it out and hand it to them on the window, man. They're going to get it right.
1077 RKR, it's the Rocker Morning Show with Mark Frankhouse.
And Meatball.
Just want to give you a heads up out there. I-94 eastbound is backed up from Galesburg to Battle Creek, starting at mile marker 89. There's a semi-rollover. From what we're seeing, no injuries, but just a heads up, there is a major backup. I-94 eastbound from Galesburg to Battle Creek. So if you're heading that way, make sure to find an alternate route.
Looks about 35th Street. I think that exit is where everything kind of gets bottled up there.
Good call. So just heads up, I-94 eastbound backed up between Galesburg, Battle Creek. So find an alternate route there. This may be the hands down like the most scenic view you can have with fall colors. There's a place in the Upper Peninsula that I think has the most scenic view when you're going for changing of the colors in the entire state, man.
Okay.
This is some way because I'm going to the UP in May.
Right.
I think I got to check this place out. Brockway Mountain Drive in Copper Harbor is a 9.5 mile drive with Lake Superior on one side and literally thousands of acres of Keweenaw on the other.
That's cool.
Just an absolutely beautiful drive. It's also the highest above sea level drive between the Rockies and the Alleghenies. So it's
the Alleghenies.
The Alleghenies, yeah. That's in like Pennsylvania. Isn't it?
I think that's
near
right.
Apple. Yeah. So it's like this is pretty wild, man. It's designed basically as an official Michigan wildlife viewing area. It's designated as an official Michigan wildlife viewing area, and I think also there's a parking spot up there. There's a link that I included on this article on the 1077 RKR app. These people put this together, this video together.
Okay.
Absolutely breathtaking view.
Yeah. Well, you probably won't. I mean, you're going up there in May, so you probably won't get to see like the changing colors and stuff.
No.
While you're there, you get to see kind of the beginning of spring.
But even like a weekend trip, I mean, this, look, I don't know if you're looking at this video.
Oh, yeah, I am.
Just gorgeous, dude.
Yeah.
This has to be one of the coolest spots, like apart from like the Porcupine Mountains, near the lake of Clouds.
Yeah.
This has to be one of the best looking sites in Michigan.
I want to get up there and see, just like, because I've always seen photos of it, somebody up high and you can see down into like the valleys and stuff, and like all the trees are all the different colors and stuff. Like it just doesn't seem real to me because well, I haven't seen it yet.
Right.
Well,
it's gorgeous up there. It literally is like its own entity. The Upper Peninsula it is. Hit us up at 978-1077. I want to know where you go to watch the changing of the colors, if there's an awesome lookout spot that you found too.
Yeah. Like I said, the one thing I love about Michigan is that I can do something like this, here. Because I mentioned where I grew up, it was just me and a beer on the porch and it went from green to brown. There's no in between.
That sucks. That's not even color watching. That's just drinking.
Yeah.
1077 RKR. It's a Rocker Morning Show with Mark Frankhouse.
And Meatball.
I've known somebody for a while that is super into Halloween, and I think he's got the fastest growing Halloween display I've ever seen.
Nice.
I think Halloween decorations are starting to really rival Christmas decorations.
Yeah, I agree.
These two holidays are easily the most expensive all year round. Sometimes I feel like people are putting way more effort now into Halloween than Christmas. I think that's like the in thing to do now.
Well,
I think it's just grown in popularity.
There was so much. I mean, you have to think about, our generation is getting older now, and we're kind of the ones that are in houses and living in neighborhoods and whatnot. Like, we have money, we have adult money to spend now, and when we were growing up, things like, Nightmare Before Christmas were the top movies. Like Halloween and spooky stuff was all we wanted to watch. So makes sense.
And technology is getting better too. The Halloween decorations are getting more advanced. People just trying to outdo themselves every single year. You've got people like the Hicks House in Livonia. They do a massive display every year. This year's should be done by the weekend, they're hoping. They weren't doing it last year.
Okay.
Then you got Tilson Street in Romeo that we talked about, where everyone in the neighborhood decorates their house, know. We have links to both of those on this story I wrote this morning on the 1077 RKR app, because old coworker of mine may have one of the fastest growing Halloween setups in the state. His name is Mark Cram, and it's called basically Cram's House of Terror. And he's been growing every year to the point where he may need to have to move soon. I have a video of this on the 1077 RKR app. You guys got to check this out, man. It is absolutely packed.
This is wild, man. This is like straight up theme park type level stuff. Where did he get all this?
So I asked him.
I did spot the 12-foot tall skeleton, though, that you can get like Home Depot or whatever.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I did ask him, because back when we worked together, he was showing me photos, and he went all out just on his balcony in his apartment that he lived in. And I remember he told me, he's like, I can't wait to have a house so I can just keep doing more of this. And that's what happened. He started going to day after Halloween sales, hitting up Facebook Marketplace, and just continued to grow this thing. And now it's just jam-packed. There's all sorts of stuff in this dude's yard.
There's no room for anything else other than Halloween in this dude's yard.
He might have to throw the candy at the kids. It's so packed.
I wonder if there's like some really cool, decorated neighborhoods here. 978-1077. I would love to know where I can like live vicariously through homeowners and see some cool decorations,
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's why I even started decorating my place like heavy this year.
Yeah, but is it like your house is kind of a triplex? So like, what do your neighbors think about that?
Oh, they haven't complained. But like, since my unit's like 75% of the house, I basically pulled a Captain Phillips on them. I said, look at me. I am the landlord now. I will decorate that.
1077 RKR is the Rocker Morning Show with Meatball.
And Mark Frankhouse.
So there's this growing trend from people like soaking themselves in things, or different types of like soaks for therapy and health purposes, full body stuff. We've heard of like the cold plunge. Have you ever done those?
Yes.
Okay. Did you hate it or did you love it?
Not fun.
Okay. It was both for me. I was like, that was exhilarating and great. I never want to do it again. You also had the saltwater tanks where you literally you practically float on top of the water.
I think we've got one of those now.
Oh, really?
In Kalamazoo, yeah.
Man. Those are super relaxing, but the saltiness gets to me. But I mean, you got that kind of stuff, and then there's also the mud baths and other things that people soak themselves in. There's a new one. There is a place in Chicago called the Air Ancient Baths. They have other locations in London, New York City, and Paris, I believe. Wine soaking. So it's exactly what it sounds like. And apparently it's a big deal. The same kind of benefits that you get from like drinking a glass of wine.
Yeah.
You can also get just by sitting in a bath of it.
So like, what do you get with the wine soak? Do you just sit in the tub and just go drink my own bath wine?
Drink your own version, the Mark Merlot or whatever.
Ew. Nobody wants the Mark Merlot.
No, it's the whole thing is like a 2-hour experience. You walk through their thermal baths, so it's like these long, warm bathtubs basically that you can kind of swim in and relax in a little bit. And then they also have like a salt exfoliation area, which is another one of those salt baths basically that you float in for a little bit. But then you go into this room and it's literally like a tile tub that you sit down on this seat and then crank the knob open and it fills the whole tub up with wine. And you just hang out in it for about 30 minutes. They bring you some cheese and crackers and stuff so you can eat. And then, I mean, they bring you wine to drink too. But yeah, and then once you're done with that, you're pretty much done. So it's supposed to be very beneficial with the grapes antioxidants and stuff in it. It's the same as if you were like drinking a glass, but I guess there's some other benefits in it too, that it's a little more relaxing. So yeah,
I'd be a little leery of that. Like, okay, and you're sure this didn't come from a bath. No, yeah, you're fine to drink it. And I'd be like,
this is their specialty wine that they have. It's their Spanish Ribera del Duero red grape wine. That
sounds way too fancy to be getting your nasty ass in the tub of it. Like that, it seems like a big waste.
I don't know. Well, it could just be like wine has to ferment for a while. Maybe it's just a short ferment wine or something. I don't know, but
yeah, I know they tell you not to drink the wine you're soaking in, but I know you, Meatball. You're gonna try it, aren't you?
Okay, yeah. I definitely would if I did this. The intrusive thoughts would take over. I would definitely dip my glass into it. Now, I will say earlier in the bath time, the longer I sit in it, the quieter those intrusive thoughts I think would get, because I know me.
If you're a facilities manager at a warehouse and your HVAC system goes down, it can turn up the heat, literally. But don't sweat it. Grainger has you covered. Grainger offers over 1 million industrial-grade products for all your operations, including warehouse HVAC maintenance. And even better, they offer access to experts and fast delivery, so you and your warehouse can both keep your cool. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.